Shalom, shalom. This is Brother Yashubalaba coming back at you with another lesson. And the first thing I'm going to do is give all honor and glory to Yahweh by Shem Yahushai by Shem Bakakadash. Second thing I want to do is give double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. And salutations to you brothers pushing this truth with sincerity, with charity. Because I was just coming out here with a story, man, because, I was just casually, taking my dog out to use the bathroom. And I seen this girl, she was in this car, or she was talking outside of this car. She was talking outside the car. She was talking to the dude in the car. And I guess she was buying something from him. And I guess she asked to see the product. And he let her see it outside of the car. And I see some dude come out the alley. And he walks past my house with his hand in his jacket. And he looks at me and I look at him. And I don't think too much of it because, I'm outside walking my dog. You try to... It's like when you see suspicious shit like that, you try to, look the other way, so you don't get into none of that. But, he walks past me and he goes up to the car that she's in after the man hands her whatever product she grabs from him. And he points the gun at the car, and they robbed the man inside the car, man. And this is with me and my neighbors outside, man. So he did this with more than enough witnesses to get him sent to jail. These people are getting desperate, man. These gas prices are going up. The food prices are going up. They're getting so desperate, they're doing whatever they can, whenever they can do it, man. Completely enough people. They wasn't even worried about us. They took what they wanted and they left. So all this is happening right now, man. What do you think is going to happen when 911 gets shut down, man? When the government stops caring. Just a quick lesson. This is Luke 23:31. For if they do these things in a green tree, what shall be done in the dry? Right, man. So they doing this stuff in the green tree, when they can still go do this and that. What do you think they're going to be doing, when all this shit gets shut down, man? When it's nobody to call when they doing this type of fuckery. Because obviously that man had no choice but to pull off. But, if that man would have did any type of resistance, he probably would have turned it into a whole shootout. Why it's innocent people around. And these are the things these people are doing now, man. And they've been doing these things, but, they getting bolder with it. And, they didn't even have no mask. So to look me dead in my eye, so I get a clear identity picture of you. And, of course, I'm not going to jump in it and get in their business, but if I was, he had looked me dead in my eye and went and did what he did, man, and robbed that person right in front of me and my neighbors. So if they doing this right now, what you think they're gonna do, when Esau shuts all this shit down? When you can't call 911. And that's why we have to be wise, man. Because these times are getting crazy. They're getting crazy, man. Everybody's losing their damn minds out here. So we gotta walk with a different type of... we gotta be more circumspect, man. At all times, on our P's and Q's at all times, man. Because who knows? This man could have been like, oh, this is all these witnesses, and he could have, tried to take us out, man. But, I seen the situation, and I went in the house, and I got out of the situation. But who's to know what can happen in those situations, man? That's why we got to be circumspect. This is Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 15. See that we walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the times because the days are evil. Right, man? The days are evil, man, so we got to be circumspect. Looking looking over our shoulders like we got ops or something at all times, man. You know, because there's people getting killed and random shootouts that got nothing to do with them because these niggas just don't know how to get along with each other, man. You know, everything's going to shit, so they going to shits with each other because they don't know what to do. You know, they confused. So imagine when they still able to go get $1 pack of noodles. You know, they still able to go get that $5 meal from McDonald's. So what happens with all that shut down, man? These people get really desperate. You know, they're already desperate over $5 gas prices. So imagine when that shit go up to $8, $10. And these people are going to be losing their fucking minds, man. And it's not going to be shit Esau could do to stop them. Because they're going to be everywhere, man. You know, and they going to stop robbing each other because they're going to realize at one point, this nigga don't got no more than I do. You know, what they're going to do, they're going to start going to them rich white neighborhoods, and then they're going to start taking over y'all homes, man. They're going to start robbing y'all, and y'all going to start seeing what Jake is dealing with. Because, you know, right now, Jake is silly, man. They going and robbing the same people that's oppressed right along with their ass. You know, you robbing your brother, and he's just as oppressed as you. You know, you stealing for your last while you're stealing his last, man. You know, and these people are getting crazy out here because they're getting desperate, man. And they've never been in this type of situation. You know, America's full of, you know, 600 pound, 400 pound, 300 pound niggas. So imagine when those niggas can't eat anymore, man. You know, imagine when they can't walk to the nearest corner store and get their chips and cheese. You know, these niggas are going to start going crazy, man. So we got to be wise out here. You know, this is Matthew chapter 10 and verse 16. Behold, I sent you forth as sheep in the midst of the world. Be therefore wise as a serpent and harmless as doves. You know, so as wise as a serpent and harmless as doves, man. So we got to stay wise, man, and harmless. You know, because you know, some niggas, you know, they niggas, man, because he had stared me down right before he went to the car, man. So imagine I was just a nigga and I was like, oh, what you looking at? Like some of these niggas do, man. Not knowing he had a whole gun on him. You know, just avoided a whole situation by just was on a rampage, man. It don't matter what time of day it was, they was still in them Kias, man. You know, and they gonna start realizing they gonna start going for higher value stuff, and that higher value stuff is gonna be in Esau's neighborhoods. You know, this is the last scripture. This is Isaiah chapter 33 and verse 6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and the strength of salvation, the fear of the Lord is his treasure. You know, so wisdom and knowledge is the stability of thy times, man. So we need the Lord's wisdom and knowledge to survive these times that are at hand, man. Because, you know, these niggas are going crazy. You know, and the only thing that can save us is the Lord, man. The only thing that can get us out of this fucked up hell is the Lord. You know, any other path is death, man. You know? So let's just be thankful the Lord saved us out of this wickedness, and thank him that we don't have to be in a predicament to even need to do something like that, man. You know, so with that, I hope this lesson was edifying. I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, B'Kakadash. Second thing I want to do is give double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and salutations to you brothers that are pushing his word with truth and say it with charity. Shalom, wa, Kwame, Sharala, wa, Abba,